Arian, do you know who my father is? Bright Flame. That's who he is, man. That's who he reminds me of, man. Do you know who my father is? So they're writing up. The episodes are just getting better and better and better. It reminded me of being at a festival like with my older brother. That's what this episode reminded me of, like just going and stuff, and my brother having to drag me along, but me and him finding a mutual likeness to each other, mutual respect, and mutual love, and growing to love each other in a setting with a lot of people where fun and festivities are being had. That's what I'm loving about it. It's like an older brother, younger brother dynamic. The younger brother having a lot of wits, and older brother just being naturally gifted is being larger and a brute of a big force, and they can both play off and use each other to their benefit. The episode's just getting better. Like I like it better than the second. I like it better than the first. Great episode. Like as the question I'm asking, are they becoming a better duo than Arya and the Mountain? I know it's kind of not fair because those two had a little season and a half together, but these two are having a whole show. But it is fair, Like I'm really liking this. It's like they're broing out, man. That's what I'm loving about it. They're just broing out, and I'm here for that. And that's what I'm loving about. I've always loved the lore in Game of Thrones shows like House of the Dragon. This Game of Thrones, which should have been named Song of Ice and Fire. I don't know why they didn't do that, but them just broing out is the pinnacle of what I'm liking about the show. It got 3 episodes, so you can kind of judge it off what it's gonna continue to be and what it is, and that's to me what it is. And I guess that's what the novels were. It was just about them broing out, dunking it. That's even like the title. It is kind of broed out, and that's I don't need nothing. If I'm getting that in lore, that's all I need. Show me this Targaryen. Show me this Baratheon, which Lionel is still just Lionel Baratheon is the guy. But to segue, I'm gonna be all over the place like Burchett. Lionel and Egg both had scenes where they were singing, and it's another thing that Game of Thrones was missing. They were missing dreams, showing when people thought about the past in their heads and talked in their heads. I wish they would have did that more in Game of Thrones, and singing. Like they had some of that in Game of Thrones, but they're having so much more of it in this show, which George R. R. Martin's still here. Let's hope he stays, because he always leaves one of these shows because he butts heads with somebody. But that's that is the fantasy part of fantasy that I truly love. Like the world, like get me into the world of how people feel, because they don't have music videos. They don't have other things like we do to entertain us like this. Like YouTube, they don't have this, so they have to entertain themselves constantly all day. And I'm really loving how they're just singing songs that they heard, and they talked about the girl who put her hands up guys' asses to please them. That conversation was hilarious. And like I said, I need to be in that setting. I don't need to be taken out of that setting, man. And they're doing a wonderful job at that. The show is growing on me by each episode. Even in the next episode, you see him calling out, other knights, which is my favorite. My favorite attribute of Dunk's character is his honor and bravery. I'm putting those two together. Like he is a brave, honorable person. He might be dumb. He might be a big idiot. He might not know the world. He might not know how to articulate himself well every day. But he is a very honorable, brave person. To say what he said, and that, I don't know if y'all seen what's gonna happen in the next episode. To say what he said, he's wondering why people aren't as honorable as they are. Like he said, the Bright Flame didn't do that on purpose. You know what? That's not honorable. He wouldn't do that. He don't understand that, getting those titles don't mean anything. And then my mans just went off on him like the aliens. They're incestuous pieces of garbage. Nobody likes them. They're known to do things like this. Like, he went off. And I think that was the funniest part of the episode, my favorite part of the episode. But, he don't understand that. So it's going to hit him in the next episode. Like, man, let's stand up to this. This is trash. And that's what gives him courage to go 100% into what he believes is the right thing, even going there to hold down his old master, who he squired for. Like, he's there for him to, like, make a name for himself, to show that it wasn't all for nothing. He's becoming such a great character, man. And I had him in my Seven Kings Guard. Go watch that video. I had him in my Seven Kings Guard that I named. He was number 7, and I'm glad I put him there. The more and more I'm watching him, the more and more I'm seeing him live action of who George R. Martin was trying to portray, like who he is, and I'm really loving the character that he is. Egg is my favorite character in the show so far, though. I think Egg is gonna be my favorite character. My favorite house is the Targaryen house. Reading the books and the history, it's like they're just the more interesting ones. Like, if Stark has a couple interesting characters, Baratheons have a couple interesting characters. What's another family that I like? There's characters in the Stark family who are just trump everybody, like a Ned, right? But when you look at like a House Tyrell, right? They're better house. They're smarter. You know what I mean? Like, so House Tyrell to me is like a better house than Stark, but Starks just have that magic to why I think people love. Ghost. This, and it's like they have that, but it's like if you look at the families as a whole throughout the histories of A Song of Ice and Fire, like you will pick other family like Dorne. Dorne is probably, just me thinking right now, just fast paced. Dorne is probably my second favorite house after the Targaryens. Dorne has heroes. Dorne has intermingled with the Targaryens. Dorne hasn't been conquered. Like, they didn't get conquered like everybody else did. Dorne is such a cool house. They have the best swordsmen, of throughout the history, I think, of A Song of Ice and Fire. So, like I said, I'm really loving. I love anything House Targaryen, any lore I can get, any live action lore I can get from the Targaryen household, and this is giving me that more, and it's showing them around the small folk. Like I said, man, the show is exceeding my expectations. Episode 1 wasn't good to me. It was okay, and that was kind of throwing me off. Episode 1 was okay, but I think we have a better duo with them. And I'm not saying that, girl, like, there's rare artists, a few rare artists that can write women. Like, that's why they're great. Like, that's why they're considered some of the greatest. Like, Steven Spielberg can write Color Purple. Steven Spielberg can. And they were black women, and he wrote the feelings and shot the feelings of what these women might have been going through during this story, and I think he did a perfect job at that. You get so few artists, man, especially men. Alien, you know what I mean? That's probably my favorite female protagonist, Ripley. You get so few artists that can do it, and I think even in the live action, Arya's story isn't finished in the books. It never will be. George R. Martin is not finishing those last two books. He's not finishing them. But Arya and a lot of women in that story is just, it'll be up, then it'll be here, then it'll be down, then it'll be here again, then it'll be down, then it'll be up. Like, it's not consistent. Like, no, it's very hard to write women consistently, and I think that's like when it comes to guys, when men are writing men, women are writing men. It's easier for some reason. It's easier to write men. Women are very complicated and hard to write. And Dunk and Egg with those two, man, is just broing out. Like I said, I know what that is. Like I said, it took me back to a real time in my life, which is what I love about art in itself. When they were walking around, eating, and just talking to people and going through people selling things over here. It took me to a time when I used to walk around in places like that with my older brother. Me being it, which is probably why I like Egg so much in the live action, in this TV show, than I do Dunk, which Dunk is amazing. Dunk is better than what I thought he was going to be, how they're writing him. I love the actor. I need to learn these guys' names because now I'm invested in the show. So now I'm about to learn names. Everybody's doing a fantastic job acting-wise. Like, this might be some of the best acting. House of the Dragon, I really love Rhaenyra and like her personal views. It's not that I disagree with them. It's just I don't understand her. Like she's a they them. Like that's just something I don't understand. It's not my world. And she's from Britain, the UK. I want to say, but she's doing phenomenal. I think she's a phenomenal actress. I think most weird people who are like just out there, they are great actors. That's why they choose that profession. And why I can't think of the guy's name who's playing Damon Targaryen right now. I know his name. He has like a name like mine. Like my name is Michael. He has like a name that everybody has. Not Sam. What is his name? I want to get his name right because he is the best actor I think in any Game of Thrones. I think he's official. He's one of those actors that I think nobody's paying attention to him now, but when he gets old, they're gonna say he's one of the best actors, like a Daniel Day-Lewis. You know what I mean? Like one of those guys, man. Like why I'm every time I get on this mic, I forget names so fast. I'll be terrible at like Jeopardy or any of those shows, man. What's the show Steve Harvey does? I'd be terrible at all of that because I know everything when I'm not on mic or I'm not being on screen. But when I get on screen, it's like I just forget everybody's name. Whoever the commissioner, I can't think of his name. He's my favorite actor. I can't think of my favorite actor's name. The commissioner on Christopher Nolan's Batman series, him. I think he's the best actor of all, and I think that's how we're going to talk about Daemon Targaryen's actor, who I can't believe I can't think of his name right now. And it's such an easy name to remember. He has a easy name. Not John. Is it something Smith? It's something so easy. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so mad when I'm done with this video. But anyway, I think those two, Rhaenyra and Daemon Targaryen's actors, I think they are amazing. But then I think everybody else on that show, it's they're okay. I like Aemon, but I like the character, so I can't like the actor. Somebody else might have been able to do a better job, but he is doing an amazing job. But it's the kids, Rhaenyra's kids, you know what I mean? But those two are really just the standouts. They're the Alicent's character. She's good, but those two in particular are standouts. When you go to Game of Thrones, you get a couple of standouts, and then you get somebody that's kind of whack. You get a couple of standouts, somebody that's kind of whack. And then if you look at them, most of them they not getting that crazy work after the show. So was it the show? Was it the acting? But what I think about everybody that I've seen so far on this show, they're killing it. On Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, they are killing it. And yeah, man, that can go a long way, man. You have so many actors in garbage. Not saying the show's garbage, but you have so many great actors that made a garbage movie better than what it was. Like how Jim Carrey always say, he just was there to polish turds. That's what he was there to put gold on turds, man. With The Mask, Pet Detective. Nobody else could have pulled those movies off and made them classics like they was. It would just look stupid if anybody else tried to pull it off. But he's such a great personality that he pulled it off. I feel like Robin Williams was like that. The only thing he couldn't pull off was Flubber, though. That was just gonna sink no matter who did that. But I'm getting off topic. But yeah, man, I'm really liking them growing out, like I said, man. And then Ed came through and saved them at the end. I'm really glad. My father, do you know who my father is? Arian, do you know my father is? Bright Flame. He gave it to him. And then he tried to stab him, and then he kicked him in his chest, and he flew back. He gave it to him, man. Gave it to him. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'm loving this duo. This might be the best duo, and nope, I'm not gonna say the best duo. The best duo in Game of Thrones history, a Song of Ice and Fire history. It's a toss-up. You can any of this set. It's either Bobby B, Robert Baratheon and Ned Stark. That's a crazy duo. That is a crazy duo, man. What did Ned say? He said if they make it across the sea, what did he say? If they make it across, if the Dothraki make it across the sea, we'll just throw them back in the water. Like Ned was talking his shit. Nobody even peeped it. Like, this is what we do, right? We took over the blood Targaryen dynasty. We ended that. You know what I'm saying? But then you got Rhaegar Targaryen and Arthur Dayne, the prettiest, flyest prince to ever do it, and the greatest swordsman to ever do it. See, now, if them two fought together against Bobby B and that, it's a different story. Because Ned couldn't beat Arthur by himself. I don't know how that Bobby B and Rhaegar Targaryen fight, like, that could have not been Rhaegar, man. We don't know the history of that fight yet. But those are the duos, man. Like, those are the duos of A Song of Ice and Fire. And it's funny because they were in the same time period. You would think it'd be somebody, throughout different time periods. Like, I love Blood Raven, but he didn't have Aemon and Dragon Knight. He didn't have a was they in the same? I think Aemon and Blood Raven was around the same time, wasn't they? Anyway, they wasn't considered a duo. But like, if I'm picking that, it's between those two, man, and I don't know who to pick. Maybe Rhaegar and Arthur Dayne, just because I love Arthur Dayne so much. But yeah, man, that's it. Another great episode. It's getting better. They're writing up. You know what I'm saying? They're like Rum Nitty. If anybody gets that reference, catch me on the next one.